Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel and Vlogmas day 9. I saw this advert on Instagram and it was asking people to donate £11 to help buy a meal for somebody who is homeless in London. And I just thought, let me share it with you guys in the hopes that you're moved and you feel inspired and you feel encouraged to donate. Before I continue, I'm not being paid by the company. I'm not getting a commission, nothing like that. I literally just saw the advert and I thought, let me share it with you guys. Back in the day, I used to have this really ignorant and negative and judgmental mindset about why people are homeless. I just thought they're alcoholics and, they gamble and they've gambled their money away and they do rugs. I can't say the proper name, but just kind of use your brain here. Put a D in front of rugs and you get. And thankfully, my mindset started to change as to why people find themselves homeless. Back in, I think it was 2017, I did this charity walk for an organization called Shelter. And Shelter basically is what they do. They try and find accommodation for people who are homeless. And the stories that I heard as to why people found themselves in that situation, really, it just further made me realize and understand that there are so many different reasons as to why somebody ends up on the street. Years and decades and years ago, I remember watching this documentary on BBC One. Cannot for the life of me remember what it was called. I mean, I watched this documentary when I was in my 20s. And I think it was Panorama. I don't know. I just know it was on BBC. And this man was telling his story, and you would never think that somebody like him was once homeless. So he had a family, he had a job, and unfortunately, he lost his job. He found it really hard to find another job. I can't remember how many months he said he spent trying to find a job. As a result, there was a lot of financial difficulty in the house and a lot of the bills were being put on his wife. So eventually he did find a job. However, that job wasn't paying as much as his previous job. But he was like, look, I've got a family and I need to help pay the bills. I'll take the job. He was on probation for that job. So, he's working, he's doing his thing. But still, money wasn't enough. So he then took on a second part-time job. When he took on that second job, he wasn't at home. He had no time for his wife, for his kids. And I'm not saying that is right, but as a result, his wife stepped out of the marriage and she started having an affair. The affair progressed to, I really love this man. I want to spend the rest of my life with this man. I want to ride on the unicorn and go down the yellow brick road with this man. And I want to divorce you. So he left the house, and at the same time, unfortunately, just as his luck would have it, the job that he was on probation for, they didn't renew it, so he lost that job. So to cut a very long story short, he was couch sleeping. Is it called couch sleeping or couch surfing? I think it's couch surfing. He was couch surfing from one friend's house to another friend's house. He then moved on to staying in emergency hostels. And I don't know if it's still the case today, because like I said, I watched this documentary years ago. But he said with emergency hostels, what you don't understand about them is there are so many people who are homeless. It's literally a first come, first serve at these hostels. So one night he got so desperate that he said to the guy at the reception, look, if I don't get a room and a bed, I'm fine, but can I at least sleep in the corridor, in the hallway? And the guy said, no, for health and safety, you can't. So then he resorted to now start sleeping on the streets. And he said that sleeping on the streets, he just knew that people looked at him and they were like, yeah, he's doing rugs. He's gambled his money away. He's an alcoholic. And he was like, that just wasn't my circumstance. So anyway, eventually, from what I remember, they did manage to find him a small studio flat in London. And at that point, he was still trying to find a job. He hadn't found a job yet. I'm just sharing that story with you to make you aware that there are so many different reasons as to why somebody is homeless. And don't be like how I used to be and just have this ignorant mindset that oh, it's their own fault as to why they are homeless. And yes, don't get me wrong, I am sure that in London, where we've got, I don't know how many people live in London, but I'm sure it's a lot of people that live in London. I'm sure that, you know, drugs and alcohol and things like that are a huge factor as to why they are in the situation that they're in, but don't tarnish everybody with that same brush. And I'm not trying to force you to part with your money. To be honest with you, if you don't have £11, and don't laugh and be like, oh, it's only £11. Listen, once upon a time, very back in the day, £11 was like being a millionaire to me when I was going through my financial struggles. If you can't, I'm not saying, you know, if you don't donate, you're going to be homeless, but you just don't know what can happen in this life. I'm not trying to force you or to push you to part with £11, but you know, if you can't, if you don't have the money and you want to do something but you can't donate financially in your area, wherever you live, see if there's a soup kitchen. If there's something in your house that you want to donate it to shelter or a charity group that helps homeless people get off the streets. So I'm going to leave the link so you can have a read up and you can research yourself. I'll leave it in the description box down below. Hopefully you are moved to Chorus and you do donate, but like I said, I'm not trying to force you. I'm just making you aware. So anyway, guys, that is today's video. Hopefully you understood it. Hopefully you will do something charitable and nice this Christmas. Take care, and I will most definitely see you in the next video, which will be tomorrow for Vlogmas Day 10. Take care, guys. Bye bye.